His stories have captured the imagination of a generation of Australian children, and now Andy Griffiths' hugely popular Treehouse series is once again leaping off the page and onto the stage.
The 91-story Treehouse is now being performed at the Sydney Opera House, and here's a look at some of the madness.
Hi, I'm Andy. Hi, I'm Terry. We've just built 13 fantastic new levels in our brand new 91-story treehouse.
To tell us all about it, we're joined in the studio by series creator Andy Griffiths. Andy, what does it feel like to see it leap off the page and onto the stage?
It's like a dream. It's like Christmas morning for me to see this stuff it's part of our lives. Terry and I, we make this stuff in private, and then it comes alive, and it never gets old.
How do you work in the adaptation? Do you seek assurances that it's going to be this or that, or how does that all work?
Oh, I trust the scriptwriter Richard Tulloch, who is a brilliant children's theatre writer and performer himself. But he takes the essence of the books and turns it into a script. And I'm in the development room for a week. And I lean across and say,
"Oh, that's great.
It wouldn't really happen like that." And he goes, "Well, it's going to happen like that because this is theatre, it's not a book." But yeah, I give it my blessing totally.
Do you think everyone there in the audience are already fans of the series, or do you think you might be getting a few new ones along the way?
I think all the kids know exactly what's going on, but the parents are often very pleasantly surprised about how much fun it is. And they go, "Oh, I didn't realise this was what was going on in the books."
There's one parent here who's a big fan.
Yeah, we've got all the books, and in fact, when a new one comes out, there's so many pre-orders, and they're hard to get a hold of right at the start.
Yeah.
For the few people out there in Australia watching who don't know about this Treehouse series, just give us some background on how it took off.
Well, Terry and I have been working together for 25 years now, and about 10 years ago I said, I want to work together, so it's not just me writing words and you drawing pictures. We organically come up with it together, and my wife Jill is an editor. She's now a co-writer and co-creator. So we're all together, and we're writing these books about us, Andy and Terry, trying to write a book in a 104-story treehouse, but we're totally distracted all the time. In the the 91 is coming on stage, and that's where we have to look after the publisher's grandchildren with the big nose, and don't let anything happen to them, or else.
It's so smart, and the kids, from my experience, when they start, they don't stop until it's finished, and then they wait for the next one.
That's our aim.
Yeah.
And, I loved Enid Blyton when I was growing up, particularly The Faraway Tree, the sense of magic and adventure, but also danger. And I couldn't stop reading those books, so that's what I wanted to give to this generation, was that experience of being totally lost in a book.
Do you get ideas from kids themselves?
Yes, every now and again they give us killer ideas. We have a level in the treehouse called the Ninja Snail Training Academy, and that was from a child who said, "I think you should have a Ninja Snail Training Academy." And I said, "That's so stupid, it might just work."
What about your imagination? Are you constantly surprised that you can still imagine all of these great new scenes and different parts of the book?
Yeah, we're now working on a 117-story treehouse, which will be the 9th book. But it's amazing how creative you can be when a publisher gives you a deadline and says, "Get it to us or else."
Which is part of the storyline as well.
And so, creativity comes out under pressure. Yeah. And the fun thing about each book, we have to come up with 13 new levels. And as we come up with those levels, the story emerges from what's coming out. So.
And how many times do you sit in the audience and watch the stage show?
Oh, that's a bit embarrassing. I think I've seen this production 5 times now, and it's just as entertaining every time. and I try not to be the one laughing the loudest. But
You're forgiven if you are.
it's because the actors are so great. Freya and Sam and Teal and Danny, they did last year's production of 78, so they're now working beautifully together, and they bring a huge amount of energy and surprise that I could never have foreseen.
Andy Griffiths,
I just want to ask one about books generally. It was quite a good year in 2018 for book sales.
Yeah.
And reading is in big time, if it ever went away. What about kids' literacy? What do you come across as something that you really care about with kids, be it boys or girls or whatever?
Well, I want to see them involved in books and it's not either video games or books. You know, you can have a lovely balanced diet of everything. So I want to see them embracing books, and we hear a lot of stories about kids who maybe didn't embrace books and didn't like them. They find the Treehouse books and they're suddenly at the top of their reading class. So that makes me very happy, because I want them to have the pleasure of reading but also the skills of literacy, and that comes through pleasure.
Yeah.
As Dr. Seuss knew, as Melbourne's Professor Cole knew with Cole's funny picture books. Yeah. You associate reading with pleasure, and then the literacy comes naturally.
And the other thing I should point out, I went to a grade 6 primary school graduation recently, and no less than 5 of the kids want to be illustrators when they grow up, so you can pass that on to Terry.
Oh, well, that's a very disappointing statistic. Any writers? No?
Yeah, there were a couple of
They've been
really good young storytellers.
Brainwashed. Andy Griffiths, thanks so much. I hope there's many more books to come from the two of you.
Thank you very much.
You've got a lot of fans out there, so thanks for coming in and joining us.
Pleasure.